Hi there, this is Scott Duffy from softwarearchitect.ca. In this video, we're going to be talking about some changes that have been announced to the AZ-900 exam. Now, this wasn't formally announced, but we do notice the landing page for the exam has a little update note on it. If you go into your favorite search engine and search for the AZ-900 exam code, you should find this official landing page as one of the top results. So the content of this exam will be updated on May 28th. Now, as I record this on the 2nd of April, it is still a couple of months away. So if you are, first of all, if you've already taken and passed the test, you've got nothing to worry about. Your exam, your certification is good for 2 years from the time that you passed. And any changes to the existing exam don't affect you. You do not have to retake the test. This only affects people who have not yet taken the test. Now, since we do have a 2-month lead time to these changes, if you're currently studying for the test, I think you should be able to take and pass it before May 28th. And that's my recommendation to you, is that you set yourself a goal to be able to pass this well before May 28th. In this time of crisis, then Microsoft does have you let you take exams online. And so there's a little bit of a requirements around that. Make sure that you're in an empty room and a clear table and a door that closes and no distractions, etc. But you should be able to take this exam from home. And that's my recommendation if you can. Now, if you are watching this video later, well after I've recorded it, and you're not going to be able to take this exam before May 28th, then this affects you. So if you go into this landing page, you scroll down a little bit, you can see a section called Skills Measured. Now, it does outline the existing percentages. The new exam has a slightly different weighting on some of these. Go into this Download Exam Skills Outline. It'll open a PDF. So here's the PDF. The first 5 pages of this PDF are the existing exam. So again, if you are planning to take this before May 28th, this is the requirements listed in a PDF document. When you get to page 5, you're going to see below changes as of May 28th. Now, this is a standard Microsoft Word change tracking format, and it can be a bit confusing. They use the strike through with a different color font to say what's been removed, and the underline with a different color font to say what's been added. So you see this sort of hodgepodge of a single word was removed and 2 words were added. And so you're going to have to, wrap your brain around a change request, a change tracking format within this document. Now, you can see they've rewritten the description of who this is for. Going down to Skills Measured, what you're going to find is there's a lot of semantic changes or wording changes that don't really change the exam. So the word understand has been removed and the word describe has been added. And that's throughout this document where there's some wording changes. What is relevant is that the percent weighting for the first section was increased from 15 to 20 up to 20 to 25. So there is a slight 5% increase in the weighting of the Cloud Concepts section. Now, to my eyes, the Cloud Concepts have some kind of wording changes, but it's not really much different. It talks about the benefits of cloud computing, but that would have been a fundamental part of this course anyways, and so I'm not adding any new content around that. It is removing the concept of fault tolerance, but that's a pretty minor change for the first section. So for section number 1, all we're seeing is a slight percentage increase in the weighting and stuff around the benefits of cloud computing. Scrolling down to section 2, what we see is the section has been split. So it used to say 30 to 35. It's now saying 15 to 20, which is a drastic reduction. But as we'll see in a second, some content from this section has been removed and put into its own section. Now, subscriptions and management groups were already part of another section. That content was pulled into this section. And going down into the workload section, we can see some jockeying around between virtual machine scale sets, app service functions being removed, and Azure App Services, which are web apps, being added. That's a pretty, to me, I think this course would have already talked about app services, but these things being removed just means they're a little bit too advanced for this. The other thing added is this Windows Virtual Desktop. We can see here as well, they're removing concepts of load balancer, VPN gateway, application gateway, and CDN, but adding in ExpressRoute. Now, all of this IoT stuff and Azure Portal stuff has been added to its own section. So now there's a new section, the third section, on these management tools and core solutions. It talks about IoT, Synapse Analytics, machine learning, bot service, and things like that. This is where functions comes in. That was removed from the previous section, and DevOps and DevTest, which were already part of the previous content. Now, the management tools, Portal, PowerShell, CLI, and Cloud Shell were there already. It looks like it's adding the Azure mobile app as a new piece of content. It's also talking about Azure Service Health. I believe that's a new piece of content as well for this section. So that's the third section. Fourth section has also been added, but this is now pulled out of a following section. So this concept of security, network security groups, firewall, and DDoS protection, you will find them in another section. So if I scroll for a second, just forgive me here. There's a whole security section as part of the last understand security requirements, and that's been removed. Okay, so we got security as a separate section, but the content's pretty much the same. I think Sentinel is a new piece of content that will be added. And now finally, the final section has removed security, but is talking about identity. Okay, so again, scrolling down. Oh, sorry, there's also the pricing. So scrolling down, we did have identity services in that final section, and that's been put into its own section, as we can see. So identity, Azure Active Directory, RBAC, policy, these are all existing pieces of content. Trust Center, etc. Now, finally, the pricing and support. Now, the former requirements had this as a big 20 to 25%. You can see some content was removed and put into its own section, but it's also now only 10 to 15%. Pricing calculators there. One thing that has been really removed is the support options. So even though the support is part of the title, we're not seeing the support options even listed in the topics. So that to me is a kind of a good thing to remove. It was such a big part of the other exam, and it's so inconsequential when it comes to real life in terms of using Azure. I mean, maybe Microsoft wouldn't want me saying that, but yeah, I mean, it was oversized in the last set of requirements. So the rest of it all scratched out. So that's the changes. I mean, it's a very slight amount of changes, and we've got 2 months to prepare for them. So to me, my advice is this doesn't affect you. Continue studying. Be sure and take and pass the test before May 28th. And if it is coming towards May 28th, this course will be updated with the new content. And there's not really a lot that's being added. There's some things like Sentinel, Service Health, things like that, and that will be added. All right? Well, thanks for tuning in. This has been Scott Duffy. The changes to the AZ-900 exam going live on May 28th. But once again, if you've already taken it, it doesn't affect you. If you're studying, it shouldn't affect you because you can do it before May 28th. Thanks.